play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bob says Dingo gonna find Rainer.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. Wow, I must have a light out. It got really dark in here. Maybe I can put a little... that's too much. Anyways, welcome back here. We're gonna catch a Sunday afternoon Division E matchup between Freedonia and Cerebral Gaming. The teams are already set up and ready to go, so we're gonna go ahead and cover our maps and then get right into the draft. Maps here. So Freedonia starting off with the bans on Cursed Hollow and Braxis Holdout. Cerebral Gaming, however, banned out Sky Temple and Battlefield of Eternity, and our first map is going to be Towers of Doom. Just a quick peek at the standings here. Cerebral Gaming sitting at 6 points. They have played 2 games, or 2 matches rather. They're 2-0 on both of those. And Freedonia has they're 2-5 right now. So played a few more games, not quite the same win percentage. And good afternoon, Sparhawk. Good to see you. Let's go ahead and get right into this draft. It's like I turned on the light. The camera got better. So we started off with some exciting bans. We had the bans on Lucio and Abathur coming out from Freedonia. And the bans on Deathwing and Zool coming out from Cerebral Gaming. And our first pick going to be Li Ming, going over to the hands of Duke. Looking for those long bombs on Towers of Doom. Maybe goes into Seeker, depending on the kind of comp makeup. These are so far some pretty small heroes to hit, but those orb resets on Towers of Doom can be pretty solid. Mark Zombie's in the house, everybody. Welcome, Mark Zombie. And there's Anna Johanna. An old staple, familiar faces coming in here. But Tyrande Phoenix. So far, not a lot of combo potential with the Tyrande Phoenix. There's nothing to set up Tyrande's stun, so she's going to have to throw those out just by herself. Or they're going to have to draft somebody to help out with that. But Tyrande can stall out a point. She's got that extra range at level 4 for the Lunar Flare. Also using her Sentinel, she can stall out the Gathering of Altars, but so can Anna, right? She can take Eye of Horus. Our next bans, however, are going to be the Malthael and ETC. And Illidan Tyrael. So there you go. So there's a dive comp. We could have a Hunt plus Judgment plus Lunar Flare, and you know what? Maybe, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we could see a Planet Cracker. It could happen. That's an interesting setup already. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be exciting. So what do you see coming out from Freedonia? They're going to need to protect somebody. They got the blinds from Johanna. Now, Varian could be a good call for that, right? It could help with the taunts. And I should probably start putting these heroes in, huh? And I think we'll see the taunt Varian with this setup. It makes a lot of sense to me. And it's going to be Medivh, the final pick for Cerebral Gaming. Let's see. Kaisa's Phoenix. Medivh. And Sleepy Bear's Illidan. All right. Well, everybody, who do you think's going to win this game? I guess you'll just have to wait for a second because I have to actually load the stream page. So 1 second. All right. Pull. All right, you can now vote in chat. Who's gonna win? Is it going to be Freedonia with their taunt, potentially taunt blow up comp with a taunt into Curse Bullet, Leeming, Orb? Or is it going to be the dive coming out from the Cerebral Gaming? Vote in chat. You know how to do it. Select the team that you think will win or want to win. Hit the vote button. If you don't hit the vote button, your vote doesn't count. And let's see, Deathwing, Zool, and Malthael. All right, and we are all set up and ready to go into game number 1. Division E, actually. And let's get our heroes and players introduced, shall we? On the left, we've got Freedonia. It's going to be Xeon Zach playing... I can't tell. Zoom in. Let me see. Who is Xeon Zach playing? Johanna. We got Draven on Ana, Simp Slayer on the Varian here. Dark playing the Greymane, and Duke on the Li Ming. Meanwhile, on the left, that was Freedonia. On the right, we've got Cerebral Gaming. We got Kaisa on the Phoenix. Gul Breezy playing the Tyrael. John US on the Tyrande. Sleepy Bear going to be playing good old Illidan. And Medivh going to be played by Novel's Waifu. So Varian already up in the top lane. Do we have... what heroes are looking to stack? We got Medivh who wants to stack his trait, and it's going to be the Lion's Fang there for Varian. And I do like the skin. This is the Dark Nexus skin here. When we go to break in between the games, I'll actually be showing the Dark Nexus clips, so you'll get that opportunity, both 1 and 2, if there's enough time. But quick rotation down here. And Medivh using that portal to pop right on out, getting the Tyrael out of the potential danger zone there, as Phoenix was looking to head up a bit, but now both teams heading over to their sapper camps. Li Ming taking the safe way here is instead going to rotate up and gather this soak in the middle, catch up with Illidan. But that's going to give Cerebral a little bit of an advantage here. They're going to get this camp. That's going to give them a boost in XP. And also potentially some pressure down in the bot lane. But more importantly, Greymane being scouted out by the Tyrande there, going to have to pull back. And that's now going to give Cerebral the opportunity to step in here. We'll see how much value we can get out of Freedonia. They've got the Li Ming, so being able to pop those orbs over that wall. And there's really no significant escape. We do have the portals here, but it's still right into the middle of Freedonia. But they're not able to capitalize on that. Really, the only potential stun they have is the Johanna with her Condemn. And obviously also the Sleep coming from Ana to help as well. Some positive energy coming out from Sparhawk for Freedonia. And there go the sappers into the wall. Nearly getting the first tower, but it's actually Li Ming getting the kill onto Illidan for first blood. But Ana down here going to be the return kill. Can Greymane get away? Medivh popping that portal is looking, but not quite going to be able to get it. So the Johanna and Li Ming going up to rotate in on that Illidan. Getting that kill now. Phoenix taking a bunch of damage. But he's just going to go ahead and walk himself away. No worries, he says. I can get away from you. Here's the rotation. We got Medivh sitting at 14 stacks. Needs 40 to complete his quest. Going into portals here. The offensive ability, Raven Familiar, giving him that extra damage when taking portals. Also able to set portals from bird form with that level 1 talent. And it is going to be the top variant. And at least so far, we've got the Power Hungry. We got the Orb here, Triumvirate. So we're going to have those orbs popping off a lot more frequently when they hit heroes at a longer distance. Now, Greymane down here is by himself, so may be able to channel that bottom altar, as both of the top altars picked up by their sides. However, Tyrande with the Sentinel going to get that stall. Tyrael fairly low on health here, sitting at about half health. But keep in mind that they've got a Medivh, so half health doesn't matter. As long as you have any health, you can potentially be a threat. Here comes Illidan looking onto the Greymane. Greymane pretty far in. Johanna all the way in, but the rest of the team looking for the Freedonia backline as Illidan trying to dive in on Ana. Phoenix getting the kill onto the Li Ming in the bottom, and there goes that Ana that I mentioned earlier here. But can Sleepy Bear get out? Does make use of that portal. Here's Varian now coming back down a little bit too late to really get into this engagement, and is now finding himself 1v3 really against the Illidan, Tyrael, and Tyrande. ultimately making use of that parry, gonna be able to escape. And we've got Medivh channeling the point for 4 additional points coming off of the Freedonia core. Couple of things could have gone a little bit better there. Maybe if Greymane had come up onto the altar there, if Varian had come down to assist, maybe Freedonia gets that control point and that altar and those 4 points. But it's hard to tell. We didn't have the full vision, so you know, Greymane might not have been in a position to really feel comfortable doing that. But the siege camp's continuing to be in control of Cerebral Gaming over here on the right side, and coming in shortly we got the side for Freedonia coming into the bot lane, so they'll meet here shortly. But it looks like these 3 sappers will make it through into the bottom fort. Ana's kind of in an interesting spot here, is cut off from her team, and that's a really dangerous place. That Medivh could have popped a portal right over there, and there's not a thing that her team could have done about it. But ultimately was able to succeed in getting some healing and surviving the onslaught. Boss is now in play, and we do see continuing the orb build for Li Ming, so expect those big hits on these altars when looking to channel. Medivh showing us a little bit of Cuddle Bear Stitches love, courtesy of the toy events. Now Illidan here taking the Unending Hatred and Unbound, so he's going to have that second sweeping strike charge, but also additional auto attack damage thanks to that level 1, and he's nearly complete with that. We'll see if we get a stall here. Ana's going to come in, not really in position. Varian, however, is in position. Let's zoom this out. Ana being chased down by the Tyrael gets put to sleep, and good on Li Ming to not break that sleep at least right away here. Illidan hunting in, looking for the Li Ming, now going after Johanna here, but Tyrael chasing down Dark. Greymane is just barely going to get away. Medivh popping the portal here. Johanna, however, fully surrounded by the red health bars, is going to be taken out, and Greymane shortly thereafter. I don't know that Varian makes it out of this either. He does have the parry, but not enough. And I think, you know, this comp is really going to come online more for Freedonia when they get to level 13. They're able to have that shattering throw for Varian, which will help on that Phoenix for sure. It'll also help anytime Tyrael uses his shielding. So we'll see just how much of a benefit that provides. And it's pretty much everything that I thought, right? We got the hunt, we got the judgment, and we got Planet Cracker. So they're looking for that stun chain combo to burn down a hero with the Planet Cracker. Looking forward to that. Now the question is, if you're Varian, do you take the charge talent so that you can keep that parry? Oh, there goes the stun combo, and it doesn't matter that it's into death zone. Li Ming is Control-Alt-Deleted from the game, and that might have an impact on her level 13 talent. We may see her avoid Glass Cannon. You typically see Glass Cannon with the Orb build, but we may see that change to something else, maybe a Cannoneer, or even Illusionist. A little bit more mobility with that Illusionist. Siege Camp picked up here now by Cerebral Gaming, up 2 levels, as we still don't have a selection from Johanna for that level 10. And there it is. The Blessed Shield is going to be the call. We got Nano Boost, so no global interrupts from Ana. We got the Wave of Force as well, as 1 did make it through, 2 have now made it through. The 3rd Sapper, however, getting stalled out and is going to be taken out by Li Ming. This bottom altar coming up here soon, unlikely to provide, well, maybe not. Are they gonna go ahead and head into this? This is a dangerous place because there's no escape route for Freedonia, and we see Li Ming here now being taken out, getting caught by the Lunar Flare, and Medivh finishing the job with that Arcane Rift. But now you got no big burst damage here. You've got the Cursed Bullet, and that's really about it for burst. Greymane gonna be the target of the judgment. Here comes the hunt. No Planet Cracker needed, and as mentioned, they don't really have an escape route, so they have to be really careful coming through here. Johanna able to make it through. Varian not quite so lucky. So 5 points coming up here for Tyrael channeling. We're going to see at least, yeah, all 3 of these sappers making their way through as well. So that's 8 total points in this round. Anna getting caught out could find herself in the graveyard here, but instead it's going to be Illidan. Johanna with the blind and the stun, keeping Illidan locked down just long enough for those towers to get that work done. Boss is available. Level 13 is here as well for Cerebral Gaming. So the question is, can Freedonia get to 13, and how much of an impact will that make? Or will it make any? Oh, the Lunar Flare hitting onto 2. Very significant value coming out here from the Tyrande stuns. And right now, we don't have any damage here, so just really trying to get whatever poke damage they can. The Blessed Shield coming out, but there's no Greymane, there's no Li Ming, so the follow-up potential onto the Tyrande just wasn't there to get that kill. Li Ming can help them poke down from long range onto that tower to try to retake bottom, but up in the top lane, Greymane did pick up that Sapper Camp. So with Illidan here, trying to see if he can't push that in, and they'll make it in a moment, but Cursed Bullet missing. Wouldn't have done a lot of damage, but there's the hunt onto Greymane. Can Illidan finish the job? Not quite. Greymane succeeds in getting that kill, and just in time for these altars to come up. It looks like we got Mortal Strike instead of the Shattering Throw, so instead looking to reduce the healing potential coming out from Tyrande, from Illidan. And I think Mortal Strike is probably the more common pick, but I really think that the Shattering Throw would have been a lot more valuable for them in the comp that they're facing here, especially for the Phoenix, but also for the Tyrael. Phoenix is going to get the channel here. Can they get the stall? Not quite. So Anna's going to channel, and now that's 3 points in favor of Freedonia, 5 points for Cerebral Gaming. No real significant combat there, although a quick Lunar Flare getting a stack. Taunt going out onto Tyrael. Not the most likely kill target, but did have the potential there. Nano Boost going out onto Li Ming, trying to see what kind of value she can get out of those Arcane Orbs. And of course, getting that reset value onto the Tyrael. There's the stun combo, and you know, we hadn't even talked about the Polymorph, but getting that Greater Polymorph, doing so much work. Blessed Shield could be a factor here, as Tyrael taking a lot of damage, but gets the Protect from Medivh. Xeon Zac, however, falling so low, makes it out. Somehow they get the kill onto Illidan. Hashtag Towers OP, and Greymane popping off, getting the kill onto Tyrande. So ultimately netting out a 2 for 2. Pulling that one out. I have no idea how they managed to work that out, because that looked very much like it was about to be just everybody dead on the side of Freedonia, and they actually walk away with not only 1 kill but 2 kills and 3 of their own heroes alive, so keeping it even there. Now level 16 talents are available for both teams. It was the Illusionist, so again giving Li Ming that extra mobility. Still not going to be enough to save her from the Tyrael combo, though. That said, we do have Smelling Salts, so if Anna can line that up at the proper time, and it's not a long stun, Blessed Shield there missing, that could have been absolutely fantastic, but just not quite able to get it. Can they catch this Medivh before he portals away? But it doesn't look like. Illidan and Greymane gonna channel up here in the top. Let's zoom out and check them out. So those will be completed in a moment here. Bottom lane, again, looking dangerous because they haven't taken this tower back. Li Ming's going to get taken out by the tower. Johanna getting finished off by the Phoenix, and Medivh making 1 more kill onto the very end. That's going to give the 5 points here. Illidan going in on with the hunt. Again, just enough time with that Planet Cracker to finish the job, and it looks like the, Greymane's going to head up top, but this is the game right here. Greymane's the only way to stall this out at all. And I don't know that he's got enough in the tank to do it. Especially since Cerebral Gaming doing the big brain play, letting the siege camp go, and they're going to head up to the boss. Medivh's going to stay down in the bot lane, make sure that he can clear that. But that's it. There's nothing. Either it's boss or it's the sappers, and 1, 2, 3 make it through. And that's going to be game number 1 going over to Cerebral Gaming. Five kills to 17. So looking at that, seeing at the beginning of the draft there, the Tyrande, the Phoenix, and then later the Tyrael and Illidan, I don't know that there's much that Freedonia could have really done in that circumstance other than pick Medivh. Like, Medivh was probably the only real way for Freedonia to really say, okay, we just need to stop this long enough. Maybe Uther, right? Maybe they go into a double support. They've got the Ana Uther then for the Divine Shield, or even the Divine Storm, right? Being able to stun everybody, the Tyrael, the Illidan, all that came in, locking them down long enough for the team to finish the job. But ultimately, that's the hand that they've been dealt. Currently up 1-0 is Cerebral Gaming. Take a quick peek at the talents here. And we'll be back in a few minutes after we get feedback on what map we're going to go to next, who selects it, and in the meantime, enjoy a little bit of the Dark Nexus.
I have been abundantly clear, usurper. This realm belongs to me. Behold the power of the Dark Nexus. I shall bring order to this realm. And the Nexus itself. The Dark.
All right, and we're back. And we're all set up. They've got game number 2 set up and ready to go. These guys know what they want to do. So let's take a look at it. What do we got? Well, we started off game number 1 there. Towers of Doom. It was the selection of Cerebral Gaming as Freedonia wanted first pick. They won that. Ultimately, I believe the score was 18-0, I think it was 18. Game number 2 here, the selection of Infernal Shrines is Freedonia once again selecting that first pick. Our map bans from Freedonia, we had the Braxis Holdout and Cursed Hollow. Cerebral Gaming banned out Sky Temple and Battlefield of Eternity. And on to the draft. All right, a little bit of a change already here. Our first ban going to be on Illidan. Followed up by the Deathwing. Deathwing, the first ban for Cerebral last time. So previously we saw Freedonia ban out Lucio and Anub'arak, later ETC. Kind of surprising order. Often, you know, Anub'arak's not often one, although Lucio either. And we miss a ban there. Calculated, right? Looking at all the different opportunities here, and you know, there's something to be said about leaving a ban open. It tells your opponents nothing. Now, whether you intend to do that or not, I don't know. right? Sometimes that's beneficial, sometimes it's not. But we're going to start off here. The first pick of the game previously was the Li Ming. And on Infernal Shrines, I feel like Li Ming doesn't quite get the same value because there are a lot of minions to get in the way. So you could see something like a Kael'thas, but it's going to be Blaze, the first pick. As far as mages are concerned, you could see something like Kael'thas, maybe even the new Orphea. You could see Jaina. Some really solid wave clear heroes here. Gul'dan gets a lot of value. Kerrigan gets a lot of value. So we'll see if we see any of those here. It's going to be Alexstrasza and Johanna coming in for Cerebral Gaming here. And of course, with the Alexstrasza, you always kind of have to wonder, is there the possibility that Cerebral wants to go into a Cho'Gall here? Not necessarily. Infernal Shrines is pretty much one of the better maps for the Alexstrasza. One of two, this one and Volskaya. And what's the other one? Another one that I think she gets a lot of value on, but now I can't remember it. Gonna get the Orphea and Malthael. So I did mention the Orphea. So Orphea doesn't have great wave clear, but her abilities don't get blocked by the minions. So if they're able to set up some of these combos, we could see some very significant damage from that Orphea. Third and final ban here for Freedonia. And they're going to go ahead and let that through. Gives me the indication that the open bans were on purpose. We'll have to see. No. Is this a stim drone Alexstrasza? Hold up. I gotta shout this one out. Let's see. Let's get this. I think this is going to be a stim drone Alexstrasza, and I'm excited for it. We're going to have Anduin and Stukov. Double supports all over the place here, and here comes the Zul'jin. Okay, it's probably going to be stim drone Zul'jin, but well, okay, now I gotta type these in, guys. I got so excited about that I didn't. Let's see. Okay, Alarak. Go breezy on Johanna, and we got the Stukov Anduin here. So the question is, do they have enough kill potential here? Dark has Malthael, Anduin, Orphea, Johanna, Xeon is Blaze. Okay, there we go. All right, that's all that. Lifebinder's 1, but also just her level 1 talent. The globe healing gives, percent healing, right? So it's just additional healing. Well, her abundance gives percent healing as well. So who wins game number 2? Infernal Shrines. Cerebral Gaming. All right, so who's gonna win game number 2? You saw game number 1. You saw how things went. Can Freedonia pick this back up and find themselves a victory, or is this gonna be a 2-0 victory for Cerebral Gaming? You'll have to vote in chat to find out. I guess you don't really have to vote in chat to find out, but you know what? Do it anyway. Don't be jerks. Vote. Let these teams know. It was 50-50 last game. All right, let's get this game started here. On the left, looking to break this out into a best of 3, all the way into 3 games. It's Freedonia. We got Xeon Zach on the Blaze, Simp Slayer on the Pleb Horse, Stukov. We got Dark playing Malthael, I think. Draven on the Anduin, and Duke playing the Orphea. It's Freedonia. And on the right, we got Cerebral Gaming here. We got John US playing the Lieutenant Morales, Galbreezy on the Johanna. Alexstrasza going to be played by Sleepy Bear. Novel's Waifu going to be on the Zul'jin, and Kaisa on the Alarak. So this is gonna be interesting. I want to see how this turns out. I'll send you an I voted sticker, Rick. So what do we got? All right, so it's actually not going to be the new habits for Blaze. He's instead going into the stim pack for the cooldown reduction. Blaze gonna get that jet propulsion. Could be seeing some danger here for the Zul'jin, but Lieutenant Morales with that healing beam just gonna keep him nice and healthy. Duke working on keeping. I guess there is no level 1 quest. I don't know what I'm talking about for Orphea there, but we do have Fetid Touch for Stukov, so we might see a little bit more of a damage focused Stukov instead of, you know, I don't know where we're going. We got Renew out of the Anduin, so getting those heals over time after he gets the auto attack. 67% saying Cerebral Gaming gonna win this fight. I like stickers, says Rek. Well, you know what? Fair enough, buddy. Stickers are nice. Johanna fallen pretty low here, but has that Iron Skin, is able to make it back to the Abundance, and the healing beam there, the beam of life coming from John US. Malthael going in, getting some tower shots against the Alarak in the top lane here. Kai'Sa fallen a little bit low, but not too bad. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Novel's waifu getting a little bit of some pustule popping from the Stukov. And sitting at 5 stacks so far for Zul'jin. So Reckless the pick, and it is going to be that E talent here, Flame Buffet, Flames of Fury. So more dragons coming out from Alexstrasza. If I don't see a level 20, sorry, if I don't see an Alexstrasza at level 20 getting stem drone, I'm going to be mad. I feel like this was set up so perfectly. Like, I know they got Zul'jin. I get it. I see him. He's right there. Speaking of him, he's going to get caught by this Orphea. A little bit of a chomp action, and it's 1 for 1 on the scoreboard here. First shrine coming up on the map. It's going to be the Arcane Punisher, Cerebral up in the top here, working with Alarak and Morales. Gonna try to get this Shaman camp on the board. Looks like Blaze and Anduin heading up to do the same. They actually already started it looks like. Just missing the Shaman himself as the shrine coming online. I want this to go to 20. Right, Rek? Like, this is it. You gotta have that moment. I want this Alex stim drone. Good plan, Zul'jin. Zul'jin's for level 1 through 19. So far here, it's looking very much like Cerebral's gonna have this shrine. I think if you're Freedonia, maybe you just go, you know, you're already halfway behind. Like, go push. But they're gonna make their way down here. Stukov falling pretty low. Does pop the pustule on Zul'jin, so he can't run over and catch him. And still no Malthael here either. So here comes Dragon Queen with only 6 to go. This should be in the hands of Cerebral. Blaze falling low here at half health, gets pulled back in with the telekinesis. Silence hitting onto Malthael. He's gonna actually Wraith Strike right back in, but the healing coming out between Morales and Alexstrasza is just overwhelming, and everybody just fine, feeling just fine. 1 kill to 1 kill so far in this game. Let's take a look at our damage numbers. 10k damage here so far for Zul'jin. Not far behind, however, is Alexstrasza with 8,300 damage. Meanwhile, Orphea with 17,000 damage. The top for anybody on the map. Malthael applying a bit of pressure here in the back to the Morales, but leaving the Punisher ultimately to fall at the hands of the fort. And, you know, a little bit of that pimp hand from Stukov. Bill Breezy gonna go ahead and head back there. The Johanna needing to refresh as Sleepy Bear up in the top lane, making use of that Flame Buffet, getting a lot of damage. Ultimately, almost this 1 full tower. Should be able to get it with the next one. So setting up quite well for an objective in the top lane. That said, the next objective is going to be in the mid lane. It's a Frozen Punisher, so we'll see how these teams address this. We got siege camps coming up in the mid lane. Freedonia is starting a little bit earlier here. They're also going to get the bottom lane. So a little bit better camp management than we saw in the last game for Freedonia. able to pick up more of their camps here and keep them going. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Alexstrasza versus Malthael. Seems like an unlikely matchup, not something you would expect commonly. And with this lane pushed up here, full wave, gonna be Cerebral heading up into the mid lane, looking to see if they can't catch this Blaze. No telekinesis used, just the lightning surge here, as the rest of the team heading down to clean up that minion wave. And the rotation now coming down. There's not a wall here, so Anduin and Stukov are in a little bit of danger. And level 10's not far off. A kill here would secure it for Cerebral. Stukov going to be able to get pulled back by Anduin here. Jet Propulsion coming in from Blaze does get the stun onto Zul'jin. Silence coming out onto 3. This would be a great time for them to get some kills. They can't quite get the Johanna just yet, but can they maybe get this Alarak? Right here, the Jet Propulsion just barely missing the slow out onto Alarak. Now, Orphea getting pulled into tower range, and that one attack ultimately bringing her down about 80% of her health. Level 10's up for both teams, and I love the aggression from Freedonia there, recognizing that level 10 was coming up soon, that Cerebral had a long way to get back to their fort. They just weren't quite able to get it to stick. But these ultimates are now online. It's going to be Lifebinder there for Alexstrasza, the stim drone for Lieutenant Morales. Zul'jin gonna go into that Taz Dingo. Counter-Strike for Alarak and Falling Sword for the Johanna. Meanwhile, on the side of Freedonia, we've got Last Rites, we got the Massive Shove. It's gonna be Crushing Jaws, Light Bomb, and Combustion. And I can imagine that Massive Shove being used for maybe a Dragon Queen who gets a little bit too big for her britches. We'll see if that gets any significant value here. Now, it looks like Cerebral wants to come in here. Crushing Jaws used, does get a big stun onto 3. Johanna right into the backline. Does use Falling Sword here. Is chasing down the Orphea. Is not going to be able to make it, though. Alarak the first to fall, as Malthael falling shortly thereafter. Johanna, however, all by herself, is taking damage from the Shaman. Had to pull back. Is able to make it out here with just a couple hundred health, as Zul'jin able to finish off the Blaze. So ultimately that worked out in favor of Cerebral, but did it? Losing the Alarak sadism, probably didn't have a lot of it, but probably lost a little bit. Because they've only gotten 3 kills, so I guess maybe he didn't even have more than 1 or 2 hits on the sadism, so we'll see. Duke, however, getting pulled right into the team, and that's a dead Orphea. I like Biotic Armor here. Biotic Armor, the level 4 talent here from Stukov, given that 15 physical armor. Will we see Universal Carrier, allowing that to go on basically forever within his team to help reduce the damage from the Zul'jin? Also, in theory, I guess, against the Alexstrasza later with her dragon attacks. Jet Propulsion going out, used Pyromania there for the armor, but not enough follow-up to get that to work. Johanna, however, by herself and limited mana, so that's going to take about another 12 minutes or so. Alexstrasza getting caught by the Orphea, and they're looking for it. There's the Jet Propulsion Combustion coming in, the Light Bomb as well, into the Crushing Jaws, and it's a kill on Alexstrasza. The Lifebinder just a little too late. Taz Dingo popped, but it's not going to be enough. Johanna coming in, and Last Rites going out, getting a triple kill onto the Lieutenant Morales. Subdue, the pickup for Johanna, getting that level 7 talent completed is going to be very helpful for them later. But what a play coming out from Freedonia, getting everything to line up just perfectly. And this Frozen Punisher now should go over to Freedonia in just a few moments. That said, Alarak and Johanna saying, you know what, we're not done. We can come in and get some of these stacks here. But it's a 5v2, so this is a fairly dangerous proposition. Alexstrasza coming in, though, has abundance, may have Dragon Queen, but it's not enough. It's a little bit too late for them to get that. Silence going out onto 2 here. They want to fight. This Frozen Punisher could be a lot of damage for them, though. And Jet Propulsion managed to get a lot of value there, but it did not have any follow-up here. Light Bomb coming out as the Stim Drone on Alexstrasza. As mentioned here, Silence going out. Can Alex survive? She is going to survive with that Lifebinder. Alarak, however, not so lucky, as the Subdue being used there is going to slow down Malthael and keep him from getting away with that 80% slow. All the while, the Punisher getting value in the mid lane is going to jump up onto Morales. Morales should be fine. They got a double healer here, but Alex is really far away, and this fort is turned off. Just a moment faster, and we could have seen a dead Alex, but instead, the fort coming alive just long enough to say, hey, by the way, Blaze, I got you. So we do have the stim drone Alex Strauss, which is fantastic, but it's not even on to its full potential yet. When we see level 20, and we will, I think we'll see level 20. A level 20 Alex Strauss with stim drone could absolutely obliterate Freedonia if they're not careful. Orphea there just barely getting out of the Discord strike, so no silence. This is a 3v5. Malthael in very deep here, trying to get somewhere. Crushing Jaws going out, but doesn't have the follow-up here. Alarak getting the Lifebinder out from Alex Straza here. And Blaze coming in now, has the Light Bomb. Can they get some stun value? They got it with the Combustion as well. Kai'Sa falling very low. Alarak gonna have his stacks reset again here. Blaze getting pulled out by the Leap of Faith, but that last axe coming out from Novel's waifu, making it look like our good friend, crap, what's his name? Now I can't remember his name. The guy from Aquaman. And Khal Drogo, the guy, if you didn't see it, he threw a bunch of axes, no-look axes, long range, you know, hitting the bullseye. Momoa, Jason Momoa, there we go. Yeah, Zul'jin making it look like Jason Momoa, just throwing those axes, hitting the target. Boom, dead. Took 45 seconds to make one silly comment. Level 16's online here for Cerebral Gaming. They're getting closer to that insane combo. Speaking of the stim drone here, it's going to go out onto Johanna. Here comes the falling sword. They do pick up on the camp. And Zul'jin getting that kill onto Stukov here, finishing his quest now. So we'll have the additional cleave. And Alarak using Counter-Strike there, getting a lot of damage on to the Anduin and Orphea, but not enough to kill them. So just the one kill, but they also pick up the camp. Level 16's just coming online for Freedonia. And it's starting to get a little bit more difficult for Freedonia. They got Zul'jin stacked now. Alarak, only 6 stacks on his Lightning Surge quest, so he's not as much of a threat as he could be, but he did take Pure Malice. So if Alarak's not your first target, his burst damage could go through the roof very quickly. If you happen to, you know, do a good job against the rest of his team, he could say, hey, by the way, thanks for that damage bonus. We are going to see the Arcanite axes for Zul'jin as well. So he's going into that kind of magey build. Orphea, however, really far up trying to catch that XP, and a great rotation from Cerebral Gaming, catching Orphea on the way back. Again, that subdue, always going to be an 80% slow. And keep in mind here too, Zul'jin's got this wrong place, wrong time. So when he catches, like he just did the Stukov, that's a lot of damage. With the level 13 slow as well, we've got Zul'jin popping the Taz Dingo as Combustion coming out. A lot of damage, but it's going to get mostly mitigated by the Abundance. And again, this is ultimately a 3v5. There's no damage follow-up here, as it was just the 2 healers with the Blaze. As the Shrine being picked up here now. Going to be a Mortar Punisher. And Orpheus, again, still not here. So this is a little dangerous for Freedonia. We got Malthael going in. He's got silence on him from the Alarak. So now this is pretty much assured for Cerebral Gaming. Now, you may have noticed our Punisher was an Arcane Punisher. It was in this bot lane here. Then we had the Frozen Punisher in the mid lane, so it will always rotate. We got the Falling Sword coming out from Johanna, and again, Orphea getting caught just a little bit too far forward to be able to accomplish the goal there, getting some poke damage. Orphea's damage just doesn't have the range with most of her abilities to be able to poke very well. So anyways, we had the Arcane Punisher. Then we saw in the mid lane that Frozen Punisher, which ultimately did secure a fort for Freedonia. So the Shaman in the top lane getting full value is going to take out a fort as well, however. And then coming back down into the bot lane for this Mortar Punisher. So if you weren't aware, it rotates through the different types of Punishers, but it doesn't necessarily rotate through all of the shrines. Top, middle, bot. It won't go to the same one twice. Stukov, much like Orphea before her, going in, and that's not a very good time to find yourself down on your healer there. Light Bomb coming out could find a kill onto this Blaze here. Combustion will get pretty decent value, but is it enough to get any kills? It doesn't look like it, as the Lieutenant Morales healing up the rest of the team here. Ultimately, Lifebinder being used as well as the Taz Dingo. Duke going out there trying to get the Crushing Jaws, but the combo just not enough. We see Alex Raza. You're too soon, Alex. Well, there's the level 20. Show me the breath. Show me the breath, huh? Take your level 20, Alex. All right, well, Punisher's going in after the Anduin. And this keep all but secured for Cerebral Gaming. And still half of a Punisher left with only Malthael and Anduin to defend. Never mind, Malthael's gone? There we go. And Johanna, looking for more, has her level 20 ult upgrade. And it's not even the level 20 Fire Breath for Alex Raza. She went into the extra Lifebinder. But with only Anduin to defend, this is looking like Cerebral Gaming is going to find their way into the victory. 2-0 over Freedonia. All right, let's see if we can get somebody in for an interview. So Infernal Shrines there, 7 kills to 17. I think that's consistent. I think in game number 1 that Cerebral had 17 kills as well. A couple more in this game for Freedonia. No deaths there on the Anduin as well for Johanna. Although Johanna making it out just barely a couple of times. Take a look at these talents as well here while we wait for our interviewee. Find out who it's going to be. All right, so it looks like we are joined by Ghoul Breezy. Am I saying it right?
Yeah,
Ghoul Breezy. I've been saying it Ghoul instead of Ghoul. My apologies. Now, you're the captain, right, of the team?
Yeah, I'm the captain.
Alrighty. Well, congratulations on your victory. That was quite a match to watch. And I'm going to start with a question in the second game first, because I was super excited when I saw this. Stim Drone Alex Raza, was that like planned from the very beginning of the draft, or did it kind of evolve into that, or kind of how did that play out?
Yeah, we wanted it from the beginning. I don't think we did it right. I think we only did it maybe twice, but a little bit of miscommunications. But yeah, that was the point of the comp, was Alex Raza carry.
Sure. And then, you get to the end of the game, you get level 20 right at that bottom keep. You throw out the Stim Drone on the Alex Raza, and she doesn't even take the level 20 upgrade that gives you the the flame buffet on your auto attacks. And I was like, what? But whatever, you guys won the game, of course. So she took the upgraded Lifebinder, which was fine. It's fine.
Yeah, we're still new. I don't know what's right there. We'll probably look at that. We haven't ran it before.
Sure, no worries at all. And we've played it a couple of times in like brawls and stuff, because it's a lot of fun. You get up to that level 20, and then with that upgraded flame buff, it combos with your level 1, so it reduces dragon cooldown. It combos with your level 7, 10% self healing every time you hit somebody with it, and it's just absolutely crazy amounts of damage. And with Stim Drone, you can just delete an entire team just with Dragon's Breath. So I was really looking forward to that. You guys disappointed me because you won the game too early. So I'm sad, but good games either way.
Yeah, I had Subdue finished, and the only reason to take Falling Sword, the level 20, I barely even got to use it. So yeah, I kind of wish the game went a little longer too.
Yep. And it's kind of the catch-22 of all that, right? You're like, well, we could win the game here, but I really enjoy doing these abilities, and we don't get them very often, right? So let's talk a little bit about game number 1 there. So you started off the draft with, let's see, it was Phoenix and Tyrande, and then pulling up the Tyrael and Illidan. So it was pretty clear that you guys were going into that, hey, let's target one person, blow them up, and then, you know, see what happens from there. Were you worried at all that they might take the Medivh in the draft?
No, not really. I mean, I would say we were more worried about Uther maybe, but they already had a healer, so we were locked and ready to go at that point.
Gotcha.
But we didn't really scout them or anything, so I mean, yeah, if they took it, I guess it would have been a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, and originally my thought was the Medivh, and then later as I was talking about it after the game, I was like, okay, Uther probably could have worked as well with the Divine Shield, or, you know, even D-Storm and all that stuff. So yeah, either one of those could have potentially been a really difficult circumstance to deal with, but ultimately you guys pulled it off. It looked fantastic every time, and as soon as I saw the Illidan and Tyrael, I was like, are we getting Planet Cracker here? Is that like... You almost never see Planet Cracker, and of course it works out that's the way you go. And some of those, like you guys had one or two maybe that were in the death zone even. You know, Illidan hunts into the death zone, Li Ming's gone, and nobody takes any damage for it. So it looked very practiced.
Yeah, it's a little practiced. Yeah, we like it. With that comp, you don't have to worry about the death zone that much. You have Tyrael shields and Medivh shields in that case if you take him instead of something else. So yeah, we like it. We love that comp. I don't think people like playing against it, but yeah, we love it.
Sure. So how long have you guys been together as a team?
We've known each other for a few years, but we're just new to this game as of a few months ago, probably.
Really? Okay. What games did you play before this?
League of Legends.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you still play League, or did you just say, screw that game? We prefer a quieter game with not as many people playing it.
No, it's still about half and half.
Sure, right on. And you enjoying your time in NGS so far?
Yeah, NGS is great. There's nothing really like this for League, so yeah, this definitely feels good.
Sure. What can we expect, without giving away anything about your team, but what can we expect from you guys here for the rest of the season?
More memes.
More memes. Good deal. Well, the last question I like to ask everybody is, was there any particular moment from the match that you want to make sure is highlighted? And it could be something you did, your team did, the enemy team did, anything that you think, hey, you know what, this went really well and I want to make sure that gets a shout out.
One of the Tyrael blow-ups, but I wouldn't be able to tell you which one. Just all of them.
Just the montage of Tyrael and Illidan just diving in and
make a montage of like all 5 or 6 of them in a row.
Right.
What we really like to do is do it to the same person over and over in Hero League and Storm League rather, but yeah, that's a little too BM for NGS, so we try to spread it around. But it's really funny if you do it to the same person over and over and over again. I
can imagine that the other side often has that player standing around for a few moments while they type. Rage.
They'll leave them in base until we use the ability sometimes if they really get tilted.
Makes sense. Well, good deal. Any shout outs before we let you get on with the rest of your day?
Yeah, just shout out to the other team. It was a GG. Shout out to everyone else we played. We don't know a lot of people yet, so not a lot of shout outs, but we're working on it.
Sure, no worries. Well, hey, listen, great games today. That's your third domination, I believe, for the season so far. So congratulations on that. And don't forget to report your match. And good luck with the rest of the season.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks for joining. Alrighty, so that's gonna wrap us up here for this match between Freedonia and Cerebral Gaming. In a few minutes, I'm gonna set up for a replay cast, Division A East, between HOTUS, Heroes of the United States, and Party Time. It's going to be, like I said, a replay cast just from a couple days ago. And I don't know the results. I think it's probably the first time that I'm doing a replay cast that I don't know the results. So we'll see. Accidentally hit the thing there. So, but because I'm going to be doing a replay cast, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream so that I take off the 30-second delay and then restart it. So we'll be back in a few minutes, and don't go anywhere.